Today we're going to talk about Trump scamming his supporters and the message that it sends about his 2024 campaign, and I interview MSNBC's primetime host Alex Wagner about her response to the media's relentless both sidesism, how she thinks the Trump-DeSantis feud is going to play out, and what her most memorable day on the circus was. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen, and you're listening to No Lie. So heading into this past week, Trump had taken to Truth Social to hype up what he was calling a major announcement, which immediately spurred speculation about him choosing a running mate ahead of 2024, or him running as an independent, or announcing some major policy platform, or just something, because, look, if nothing else, the guy knows how to make news, and so it stood to reason that this was going to be something significant. And of course, it turned out that this was the announcement.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump, hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington, with an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature some of the really incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been very exciting. You can collect your Trump digital cards just like a baseball card or other collectibles.
That Trump was selling digital trading cards of himself for $99 a pop. There's Trump riding an elephant, Trump on the moon, Trump standing in the Wild West. If you haven't seen these images yet, I would highly recommend checking them out because they look like Trump learned how to use Photoshop in the morning and then published a full set of images by the afternoon. There was one Twitter sleuth who published a thread showing that every image in the collection was basically stolen from some stock photo collection, which is about as surprising as the sun rising in the morning. One of the pictures is literally Trump's head on a Men's Warehouse model. Like, these people paid $99 for a picture of the guy's head cropped onto a Men's Warehouse ad. And I think what was most striking here is, like, the shamelessness with which Trump is grifting his supporters now, his own supporters. Like, what part of conning his audience out of $99 for a bunch of shittily photoshopped JPEGs is a major announcement? The money that he made didn't even go to his own campaign. Like, the fine print on the question of whether any of the money from this collection going to the Donald J. Trump campaign for president says, quote, "No, these digital trading cards are not political and have nothing to do with any political campaign." The money just goes to him, personally. He's like, I have a major announcement, and it's that I would like to make some money. And look, him conning his supporters is nothing new, right? Like, this fucking guy buried his ex-wife on his golf course that now qualifies as property for a tax break. If someone offered him the right price for Tiffany, there is a non-zero chance that he'd sell her off. But I do feel like the context surrounding this one is different because this comes at a time where Trump's political stock is low. Every single gubernatorial and Secretary of State candidate who ran on his MAGA agenda in a battleground state lost. It's the third election now where his brand was rejected by voters. Ron DeSantis seems to be the new darling of the Republican Party. Trump's campaign announcement was so boring that Fox News cut away from it. And this was the first moment now where he got his supporters excited about something. The first moment that would ostensibly turn things around for him. And he framed it that way on purpose. Dude literally posted a quote, "America needs a superhero. I will be making a major announcement tomorrow. Thank you." No one in their right mind wouldn't assume that this was political and would be to debut pictures of himself standing on the moon for $99. And so when he really needed a win and when his supporters were rooting for a win, this was just such a shameless slap in the face. Like him whipping everyone up all to effectively just request $100 that does nothing but line his own pockets. It's like the guy is practically begging his own supporters to recognize that they are being conned. And so look, in fairness, this could go two ways. On one hand, this is a party whose lifeblood is basically bilking its supporters for money in the least honest way as possible. Like Trump's own former chief strategist, Steve Bannon, was literally indicted on money laundering and conspiracy charges when he defrauded his own investors for the We Build the Wall campaign. Like, I don't think it's going to make front page news that a Republican has found a shameless way to empty his supporters' pockets. So that's my caveat. But here's the flip side. The extent to which this whole effort here by Trump was so shameless, so predatory and careless gives the impression that he's not even trying anymore. Like, there's not even any pretense that this is to help his campaign or that this is for any reason other than just making him more rich than he already is. And that's not to say that Trump is like giving up, because I don't think that's the case. But it's also not the sign of a campaign that's going well when your first major announcement since you've been an announced candidate is that you're selling JPEGs that literally don't even benefit your campaign. None of this seems like the sign of a healthy political operation. But then again, neither is watching every single swing state candidate you've endorsed lose, so maybe we're just witnessing a broader trend here. In any case, I do wonder whether any of those diehard supporters will see this and finally realize what they are to this guy, that they're marks, that they are dollars to him, because he made it about as clear as humanly possible. There is no planet on which a diehard Trump supporter turns around on the day that he hyped them up over purported major news, and the news ended up being that he just wants them to hand him 99 bucks, and that they don't feel used at the end of that. Like, I just can't imagine a human being watching that and still feeling vindicated in supporting him. So will this lead to some huge exodus away from Trump? No. But I'll bet a few people were embarrassed enough by this shit that they lost interest. And in an era where elections are won on the margins, being that desperate to bilk your own fans for their money is a really good way to lose support. Here's a clip from my interview with Alex Wagner. If people recognize the extent to which Donald Trump is an albatross around the Republican Party's necks, they see that he's lost in 2018, 2020, 2022, and it does look like, okay, if we want to win as Republicans, we have to go a different way, and maybe, there's a little bit of a fall off in his support, and there is and Ron DeSantis does become the heir apparent in the Republican Party. What do you think happens to the Trump supporters and Donald Trump himself? He's not gonna. Do you see a world in which he allows that he doesn't go full scorched earth and that he allows allows himself to go quietly into the night?
Yeah. I don't think going quietly into the night is something Donald Trump has ever done. I mean, witness January 6th, 2021.
But it is different because that's the Democrats. And so at least there's you have plausible.
Oh, but he has no allegiance to the GOP. That's simply a vehicle for his own ego and his own ambitions, right? I think he could easily try and take, the third party route I think honestly, he's openly and then, tacitly suggested to the Republican elders, I'll take my people with me. So, if you want to boot me out of the party, you're booting them out of the party too. And look, they are not the entire Republican Party, but they are a sizable portion of the party that also comes out and votes. They're maybe 25 to 30% of the country, depending on what Donald Trump has recently done and who's ready to pledge allegiance to him. But that's real when you're talking about numbers. And by the way, the country, when it comes down to elections, they're still pretty tight. And there's, the electoral college is a reality. So, I absolutely think he'll go scorched earth. Nothing in his resume suggests to me that he'll sort of go to the RNC and give an introductory speech to Ron DeSantis as he claims the nomination. It's impossible for me to imagine that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in terms of these independent runs. It's going to be Donald Trump and Kyrsten Sinema leading the country after.
Oh my God! God help us all.
To listen to my full interview with MSNBC host Alex Wagner, click the thumbnail right here on the screen, or check out the interviews playlist on my YouTube channel.